Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is my 68-gallon CAD Lights tank from Toronto. I'll introduce everything briefly, and then today we're going to be talking about proper coral care. This tank has several SPS and LPS corals. Particularly, I'm going to focus on Scolymia today, as I've read quite a bit that people have trouble with keeping them for a long period of time. I read anywhere between 2 and 4 years. People notice that they kind of wither away and die off, and what a lot of people don't realize is that Scolymia and coral in general, especially the LPS corals, are quite carnivorous. My light cycle right now is not allowing great color to really show the coloration there, but there's my 2 Scolemias. That one's quite large. And basically, at night, they'll put out feelers, and what we want to do is feed them. You can feed them mysis. They can generally eat up to 2 cubes each of mysis, which is shocking. And your coral should be fed at least twice a week. Otherwise, what we find is they just start to shrivel up and die away because, like I said, they're very carnivorous, and if we don't feed them enough, they just shrivel up and die, which is very sad, as these Scolemias they're not hard to come by, but they're quite expensive. That price control is there because they're only allowed to harvest so many of these. These particular ones are the Aussie Scolemias, and they're caught in the Great Barrier Reef. Some other good food to feed your coral is roe, and arthropods are good. I actually squirted these guys with a little gel the other day. It was just Hikari Coral Life Delight. What you want to do is vary their diet. You don't want to just give them mysis all the time, and basically try and feed any coral that will basically eat them when you give it to them. I have a max spec dryer power head there. That's what I use for flowing my tank, and what I do is I just flip it to the feeding mode to turn off the flow, and I have a pair of forceps. Even when I feed my fish, I don't recommend throwing a whole block of mysis in there or a whole block of frozen food. The filler they put in there to bind the mysis adds quite a bit of pollution, and it really has no nutritional value, and just dissolving into liquid, it doesn't actually, there's no way the fish or coral could eat it even if it was good for them. So what you want to do is take some tank water out, throw your frozen food into a cup with the tank water, let it thaw out, and then stir it around a little to break it all free after it thaws for a minute or two, and then use a strainer to strain out the good part of the food we want to feed them, which is typically the mysis, and then add it to the tank. Or if you're feeding your corals, drain it off, throw it back into the cup after you strained it, and then I use since this tank's quite deep, I use a pair of forceps, surgical type forceps, to feed the coral. Like I said, at night, the Scolymia put out quite a bit of feeding polyps, and they're quite hungry. Like I said, you want to feed them at least twice a week, or at least once or twice a week, and you'll have successful LPS corals for years. Sometimes I wish I could get the SPS corals to eat basically being force-fed like that, because this is a fairly young tank and the coral hasn't grown in. Strawberry shortcake there, staghorn green, tricolor acropora. See if I can get a better shot of that one. And I'm not sure what this one's called. I've heard it referred to as a Cali tune. It's kind of an interesting color. It's kind of a metallic green and kind of a purplish blue. So some of the SPS corals, like that war coral, will eat pretty much anything I can feed it. puts out quite a bit of feeding polyps at night, as well as you have a little mushroom hiding back there. Sorry, you can't see it very good. And the blasto there loves to eat. Basically what you can do is when you have a young tank like this, you can feed them more often to get it to grow in quicker and, you know, achieve the results you want. Like I said, they have to be fed. Can't stress enough how important that is. So I'll wrap this video up, and like, comment, subscribe if you want me to do more videos. Like I said, this is a first video I've done that I put online, so if you want to see more, post comments, questions, possibly topics you want me to go over. I keep several successful tanks, and even when this was a new tank, I had no problems with any fish dying or getting sick or anything like that. And just by following a few simple steps of proper setup, we achieve what we want in our reef, having healthy reef tanks, healthy inhabitants. So my next video, I'm going to go over setting up a reef for the first time.